Welcome once again, my fellow manipulators of digital fate. I'm Richie, this is Capricorn, and Wonders of the First just dropped a bomb on all of us. Out of nowhere, a bunch of spoilers for the brand new Set 2 Call of the Stones, which is coming in February. I'm not sure if these spoilers were leaked or if they were intentionally dropped. What happened is they dropped a video hyping up the pre-buy for Call of the Stones, trying to get people to sign up for the pre-sale and linking to a place where you can do that. And in the video, first of all, there was something spoiled about this set. That's something brand new that they're doing for this set that they didn't do for the first set existence. And we'll get to that in just a minute. But they also, in the link, the form that you sign up for this pre-buy on, there were a bunch of cards just sitting there, as you can see right now, being spoiled out in plain sight. And they had to have known that they were doing this. This couldn't have been a leak, right? It couldn't have been like an unintentional, it went live before they wanted it to, or something like that. That was sort of my first thought. But these had to be intentionally spoiled, right? There are 7 cards here. We can only see 1 card in its entirety. We can see partial cards of the other 6, and we're going to go over each of these 7 cards in detail momentarily. Before we do, I want to talk about that other thing that was spoiled that is brand new to Call of the Stones that wasn't in the initial set in existence. And as you can see here, they showed off the box art completely as part of the hype video that links you to this form, this pre-buy. And there's a little sticker on the corner of the box art, and if you magnify, it says guaranteed 1 celebrity guest autograph or serialized or mythic foil in every pack. So this is confirming there are celebrity guest autographs coming to Wonders of the First in Set 2 Call of the Stones. So we don't know exactly what this means yet. So let's theorize for a moment here. Celebrity guest autographs. Why would there be celebrity guest autographs? The first possibility is that maybe they got a bunch of guest artists to do art for some of the cards, and maybe those cards are signed by those artists. That could be one way that they're going. Although if they're doing that, I don't know if they would label it as celebrity guest autographed. They'd probably label it as artist autograph or something along those lines. Celebrity guest autographed is making me think of the other possibility that they could be going with here, which is just that they actually have celebrities appearing on the art of cards. I'm not sure exactly how they'd go about doing that. But having the likeness of a certain celebrity on a card and then having certain versions of those cards autographed by those celebrities seems like an interesting new twist. And, you know, the more I think about it, the more I kind of want to double down on this prediction, because we've already seen them do something very similar with 𝐴 Battle Arena. For those of you that don't know, Wonders of the First is created by the same team, the same company that does 𝐴 Battle Arena, which is another card game using sports icons. It's sort of combining the idea of collectible sports cards with collectible card games, sort of mashing it into one. That is, at its root, exactly what 𝐴 Battle Arena is. And so for all of their, you know, sports icons and celebrities over in that game, they're able to get autographs on the cards from the players, from the different players that they bring into the game. And it makes sense because that's something that happens a lot in the sports card world. And so adding that sort of extra layer of collectability to something that's also a collectible card game was pretty interesting for 𝐴 Battle Arena. It seems like, to me, they're trying to take what's working for boba and try and make it work for Wonders. Celebrity guest autographs, kind of exciting. I don't know what direction they could go as far as having celebrities being a part of the game, or being, you know, their likenesses being the art for some of the game pieces maybe. So we're gonna have to wait and see when they finally spoil exactly what this means. But that would be my best guess going forward. It could be a number of different things. It could be the artist thing for sure. And that in and of itself could also be something exciting to be excited about with this set. But if I was a betting man, I think that somehow they're they're getting what works with Bo-Jackson Battle Arena, and they're sort of translating that to Wonders of the First, which is pretty crazy. But with that out of the way, we've got 7 brand new cards to talk about, so let's dive into the cards. So here we have our first look at a card from Call of the Stones. I've done my best to preserve the quality, although the image size was kind of small, so I had to blow these up and they're a little bit blurry. This is Mountain Sovereign Worm, a legendary wonder dragon lava beast it looks like. 5 cost, 6 power. It is a core, so you're going to have a Sulfera land in play in order to play this card. It has flying, which means after it finishes attacking in a realm, it can move to an adjacent realm as part of that attack, which is really great. But also, on attack, you may destroy target enemy with cost 2 or less here. This ability is actually kind of nuts. We've already seen this ability on an item equipment before, the Revolutionary Cannon, but having the ability built into a wonder already there, and you get both a wonder with power and this ability that triggers on attack in the same card that only costs you 1 action to play, instead of having to play both of the cards and use separate actions to play them, is super efficient. More importantly, the fact that this thing flies and you get to have your destruction on a wonder that's flying around and being able to use it in different realms constantly, being able to move it with its flying ability to whatever realm it is most useful in to kill things wherever they happen to be, seems super powerful. So right off the bat, I'm really loving this guy. In fact, I mean, it's a dragon. I'm loving that we're seeing a bunch of dragons. It seems like there's a few dragons in this batch of cards. But the next card we have to look at here is Captain Nebula Talon. The first card we saw was a Sulfera card. This is a boundless card. It costs 2 energy. It's a primary wonder, and we can't see what its power is, which I think was intentional. But it has this ability here. On play, the next card, something that begins with a T, it looks like, some more words, and then plays this round, costs +2, and then we don't see the rest of it. If I was a betting man, I think this probably says the next card target player plays this round, costs +2 energy, but it could be any number of things. It could be +2 actions, and that word maybe isn't target. It's something that begins with T and probably an A, but I can't really make it out for sure. So who knows? It could go a different direction, but I'm guessing it's the next card target player plays this round, costs +2 energy. And if that is what the card does, then that also might be a sign that multiplayer is possibly coming to Wonders of the First. Otherwise, why would you have this card target a specific player and make it so the next card target player plays this round costs +2 energy, unless there was a format in which there were different players to target? So not only is this likely to be something that is going to make their wonders cost more, but it's also possibly a hint that multiplayer is coming to Wonders, which is kind of cool as well. The next card we see here is Magna Vortex Rex. I think that's what it says. I'm pretty sure it's Vortex. Magna Vortex Rex. This is a 5 cost legendary wonder. Again, we don't see what its power is, but it does have a tap free ability, which says move a something 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 to this realm. This could be anything. It could be move a wonder to this realm. It could be move a wonder that you control to this realm. It could be move a wonder that you don't control to this realm and you can move your opponent's stuff around. Or it could even be targeting something that isn't a wonder. Imagine if it was move a stone to this realm, move a stone that you control to this realm, or a stone that you don't control to this realm. Or maybe even it's just moving an item or a land. There's a lot of different directions this card could be going. But a tap free ability that you can use to move something at any time for no action, and you don't have to initiate that move when you first play the card. You can get the value of having a wonder out, having its power, and put pressure in a realm right away, try to take a stone right away, and then have this ability to use later to move something, does seem kind of powerful. If I'm gonna bet, I think it's probably gonna move a wonder. I think it's probably going to move a wonder to this realm, but I'm excited to see if I end up being right. Next up, we've got, it looks like Aeonix, the Roaring Storm. This is a 9-cost legendary wonder, another Sulfera card, and it has flying. We don't know what its power is, but it has this ability, Call All Wonders, something, 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 a stone here. My guess is it says Call All Wonders if you control a stone here, or maybe if you don't control a stone here. It's definitely something that's contingent on a stone here, which is interesting. Maybe it's if you don't control a stone here, Call All Wonders. The real question is, what does Call All Wonders mean? Now, it's worth pointing out that in this game, they do not put reminder texts for abilities on things that are rare or higher. On the commons and uncommons that are using a certain new ability, they will put reminder text and let you know what that ability does. But this is likely something that's rare or higher, so they don't have the reminder text here. But that word call is very likely a new keyword ability that means to do something very specific. And the set is called Call of the Stones, so it makes sense that maybe they have a very prominent keyword ability, new mechanic within the set that is a call mechanic. We don't know exactly what that would do, but we can theorize if you call it, maybe you're shouting out, like maybe you're calling the name for something, maybe you're calling for something to come to you, or maybe you're calling for something to activate. You know, you're making a call, and then maybe there's a response to that call. We don't know exactly what the mechanic is going to do, but I'm pretty sure call is a new keyword mechanic. Let's move on. We have another Patria wonder here. We don't know what its name is, we don't know how much it costs, and for the most part, we don't know what its abilities are. But we do see that it's a mythic, and we see that it has 13 power, which is one of the most powerful wonders in the game right now. And then we can see a little bit of this ability. The last 2 words, they say aren't legendary. I have no idea what this could be. It could be wonders you control aren't legendary. Legendary wonders you control aren't legendary. Or maybe just all wonders you control aren't legendary. Or maybe just all legendary wonders aren't legendary. I think it turns legendary wonders into not legendary wonders. But that would be kind of interesting. For the most part, legendary is simply a deck building restriction. If something is legendary, you can only have 1 in your deck. There is actually no restriction to how many legendaries of a certain card you can have in play at the same time. You can make copies. You can steal your opponent's legendary if you already have a legendary, the same exact legendary in play, and then have 2 copies. There's no rules about having multiple legendaries in play. There's only rules about having only 1 legendary of a particular card in your deck for the deck building process. So I don't know exactly what this ability could be hinting at. It does remind me a little bit about, reminds me a little bit of the Blazing Phoenix pub. The Blazing Phoenix pub is a land that when you harvest it, turns all of your wonders into legendary wonders. And for the most part, that seems like it doesn't matter, but there are ways in which you can interact with that mechanic. There's ways in which you can synergize with all of your wonders becoming legendary. So it actually does end up mattering, just not all the time. Maybe this ability does something similar. It's hard to say, but I'm excited to see where this one goes. Next up, we've got a new Prismation. Kind of like, we have, what, the Corrupted Prismation Behemoth. I think we have another Prismation in the first Wonders of the first set as well. This is some kind of brand new Prismation, something Prismation. We don't know what it costs, but it is a core card, and it's got a whopping 8 power, so if I was gonna guess, I would say it's probably an expensive card. We can also see for sure here that this is a Mythic, which is the highest rarity in this game to get. And then the ability here, something along the lines of something that ends with an E, energy you gain from stones. Most likely, this says something along the lines of double the energy you gain from stones, or triple the energy you gain from stones? Does this just like allow you to crank out extra energy from getting an early lead and, you know, capturing a bunch of stones early, and then you slam this thing and it's like doubling or tripling your energy output from those stones? That could be what it's doing. I don't know for sure. I'm excited to find out. I know Sulfera, as far as an orbital, they really like the idea of getting ahead early and then finding ways to capitalize on getting ahead early, getting an early lead on controlling stones, and then getting benefits from that. And so an ability like this would kind of fit in with what Sulfera likes to do. This one's really interesting. I'm super curious to find out if I'm right about that. And then last but not least, we have something or other kin. We don't know what this does at all. It looks like it has no text box. We don't know how much it costs, and it also has 3 power. Now, if I was a betting man, I actually think this might be slightly deceptive. It looks like there's no ability, but it's possible there is a very minor ability, something that's maybe just a keyword, possibly even a new keyword, or an old keyword. It could have Death Strike, you know, it could have flying. I doubt it has flying. If I was a betting man, I would say that they're trying to misdirect us here and make it look like this cute little Sulfera guy. Also, did you guys notice that there's a lot of Sulfera cards in this first spoiler? Kind of interesting. But anyway, this definitely looks like, I think they want you to think it has no abilities, but it very well could have a minor keyword ability that they're sort of keeping hidden. Or maybe it's just a really cheap 3 power wonder. Maybe it only costs 1 energy or something like that. It'll be interesting again to see if this thing actually has an ability or if it's just a vanilla wonder. Even vanilla wonders are pretty powerful in this game, especially against the current meta favorite, the nullify decks. They don't get as much value nullifying vanilla wonders because most of the way in which those vanilla wonders are efficient is just in their cost for power ratio. So yeah, even if this does end up being a vanilla wonder, it still could end up being a very relevant card. But that's gonna do it for this video. We saw some really interesting cards. I'm really excited to find out what this celebrity autographed card, celebrity guest autographed card thing could be. So if you have any ideas of what that could be, definitely let me know in the comments. And if you have any ideas about these cards that we went over and some ideas that maybe I didn't cover, maybe some of the things you think the abilities might be that's different from my guesses, definitely let me know in the comments. And as soon as they drop more spoilers, I will make sure to get that stuff out to you ASAP. I am super excited about it. SCG CON Houston and Baltimore are right around the corner, and I will be competing in the main event for Wonders of the First at both events. And then SCG CON Vegas in November is hosting the World Championships with $125,000 in cash prizes. I will be taking part in that, hopefully taking home the crown. I hope you guys will come hang out, learn how to play, and be a part of all of these SCG CON events. The Stone Secret Cup series is in full swing. Call of the Stones is looking absolutely wild, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for checking out my channel. I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons over at Patreon. Without you guys, this channel would not be possible, so honestly, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of your contributions. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe. The more likes we get and the quicker we get them, the bigger this channel will grow and the faster it will grow. I'd love nothing more than this channel to become something very special for you guys, but it's entirely up to you how fast that happens. Also, if you'd like more deck text, that's somewhere over there. And if you'd like to see what else the channel's been up to lately, that's somewhere up that way. Also, subscribe, circle below, do all the things.